administrative rules are followed. In accordance with the Freedom of Information Act and Governor Lamont's executive orders, this meeting is being recorded and will be made available on the City of Milford's website. If a member of the board would like to speak, please utilize the raise your hand feature via Zoom. And please do not speak over one another. And when you are not speaking, please keep your phones and computers on mute. After being recognized to speak, please state your name prior to making a statement. With that, will everyone please stand up wherever you are, and please join me as we salute our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, will you please take the roll?
Alderman Beatty,
Present.
Alderman Gaynor,
Here.
Alderman Genentasio, you're muted, Alderman Genentasio.
Here.
Alderman Golden,
Madam Secretary, Alderman Goldman would like to be excused.
thank you. Alderman Hardiman,
Here.
Alderman Harla,
Here.
Alderman Prente,
Here.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Here.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Here.
Alderman Sutton,
Here.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Here.
Alderman Vitro,
Here.
Alderman Vitale,
Here.
Alderman Willis.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The next portion of the meeting is devoted to public comment. Please use the raise your hand feature via Zoom or state your name if you're using the conference line. Statements are limited to the legislative function of the Board of Aldermen. The time limit granted to each speaker shall be 3 minutes. Residents, taxpayers, and electors may address the board at this time or provide comment through email. The board encourages speakers not to express derogatory, insensitive, or offensive statements or to engage in personal attacks against individuals. In order to allow everyone an opportunity to speak, I'd ask that everyone please limit their comments to 3 minutes. We received 2 electronic submissions via email for public comment. Mr. Sean Wheeler at 4 Shagbark Lane and Mrs. Mary Lyon, address unknown. Alderman Sutton. Alderman Sutton, agenda item number 3, consideration of minutes for the regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen held on October 6, 2020.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote, Madam Secretary.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gaynor,
Yes.
Alderman Genentasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardiman,
Yes.
Alderman Harla,
Yes.
Alderman Prente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis.
Yes.
All in favor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Agenda item number 4, there are no special meeting minutes to consider. And agenda number 5, Chairman's report. I'd like to remind everyone that this Wednesday at 11 a.m., we were going to have the single wreath laying at the monument on the green in front of City Hall. That'll be at 11 o'clock sharp. So everyone interested in participating in that, shall do so at 11 a.m. Also, I'd like everyone to take a moment to remember all those military personnel that have gave the ultimate sacrament. This Wednesday being the Veterans Day, we all would want to remember all those family members, friends, and people in the America's military that have lost their lives in all our past wars. Thank you. Agenda item number 6, Mayor's report and recommendations. Is there a report from the mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening to all of you. I too would like to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day on Wednesday. We did have an appropriate tribute to our veterans this weekend. You could take a look at it. It is on the YouTube channel. Go to the city's website or social media pages. Its link is there. I would also like to thank and say job well done to our city clerk, Karen Fortunati, our registrars, Deborah Fellenbaum, Carrie Rowland, and their team of poll workers who did a fantastic job this election day. Turnout was huge. There was a lot of energy at our Milford polls, and it went off as seamlessly as could go. Everybody did a great job. Everybody that ran, I want to congratulate them. I know that Alderman Sutton and Alderman soon to be Representative-elect Smith ran and gave of their time and energies during this last campaign season. I know everyone on this board knows how much time is exerted campaigning on behalf of the city of Milford. Thank you for giving of yourself, giving of your time and energy to make the democratic process move forward. The community appreciates all that you do. So thank you to Alderman Sutton. Thank you to Alderman Smith. Frank Smith, we look forward to working with you in your new capacity as a state representative next legislative session. So congratulations on behalf of this entire board. And other than that, Mr. Chairman, I do want to direct your attention to those items listed under 6 in your agenda. The first mentions that the city of Milford has reaffirmed its AAA bond rating, a big accomplishment. Kudos to our finance team and all of our city departments that contribute to this operation. Secondly, the city of Milford, as was mentioned at the October Board of Aldermen meeting, we went out to refinance some of our very old bonds that were issued in some cases 20 years ago. Actually, that's not true, 12 years ago. And we were successful. We reduced our overall costs by about $1.4 million. The even better news is that we are going to refinance some low interest loans from the Clean Water Fund, and we anticipate that we could see an additional savings of $700,000-800,000. Is that correct, Peter?
Yes, that is correct, Mayor.
So that's over $2 million in savings through really taking a look at the super low interest rates and just having bonds that are, ready to call. So that's great news for the city, great news for this board, great news for the taxpayers. And I want to just give another shout out to Peter Aradisi and his finance team. Once again, year after year, the GFOA recognized them with their highest achievement and has awarded them the Certificate of Achievement or Certificate of Excellence from that body that oversees our finance teams. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions as they come down, but I do respectfully request your consideration and action on those items listed, item 8A through 8F in the agenda. I am particularly looking forward to the confirmation of a new Board of Aldermen member under 8A. So that is soon to come. Feel free to ask me any questions, or any members of the city departments, including our Public Works Director, our Assistant Public Works Director, and I see also our City Health Director is on the line as well, and our City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I also like to congratulate Peter Iuridici for his and his dedicated members of the Finance Department for their outstanding achievement. He did it for a lot of years in a row, and we owe him a grateful handful of thanks. Thanks again, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're very welcome. Moving on to agenda item number 7, there is no unfinished business. Moving on to agenda number 8, Alderman Sutton, agenda item number 8A.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a motion that it gives me great pleasure to make. Scott Marlowe and I served on the Planning and Zoning Commission in the city of Milford 4 years ago when it was a 5-5 tie. And the first year I was the chairman, the second year Scott was the chairman. And that board ran so incredibly smoothly and with such decorum and respect and civility. And Scott really was the paragon of that civility and respect for everyone to work together. It is a pleasure for me to welcome him to this board. I anticipate we are going to support him and pass his nomination and putting him on this board. So it's with great pleasure that, pursuant to Article 2, Section 6 of the Charter of the City of Milford, Board of Aldermen approval, I request that we move the appointment of Scott F. Marlowe, 353 West Main Street, to complete the unexpired term of Jeremy Grant on the Board of Aldermen representing the 2nd District.
I second the motion.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Alderman Giannatasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you to the members of the board. As Alderman Sutton duly noted, Scott is well-known and well-liked on both sides of the aisle, and I also would like to give him a warm welcome. As you can see, Scott is no stranger to public service. Along with his term on the Planning and Zoning Board, Scott also served on the Board of Finance, the Board of Education, the Building Code of Board of Appeals, Permanent Schools Building Committee, and also a very devoted and longtime standing member of the Milford Republican Town Committee. So Scott, it gives me great pleasure and excited to have you join the board and our caucus, and look forward to a lot of great things. Thank you.
Any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Madam Secretary, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gaynor,
Yes.
Alderman Giannatasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardiman,
Yes.
Alderman Harlow,
Yes.
Alderman Prente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes. Welcome, Scott.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis.
Yes.
All in favor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. At this time, will our newly confirmed Board of Aldermen member unmute his microphone and raise his hand to be sworn in by our city clerk?
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, Scott, do you solemnly swear or sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that you will faithfully execute and discharge your duties and responsibilities according to law as a member of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Milford to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God?
I will.
Congratulations.
Welcome, Scott.
Thank you very much, everyone, for your support, and look forward to working with everyone.
Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you, everyone.
Move on to agenda item number 8B. Alderman Sutton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Board of Aldermen approve the attached memorandum of understanding for mutual aid for surge capacity of public health preparedness between the Milford Health Department and the West Haven Health Department, and to authorize the mayor, health director, and city attorney to take all steps necessary, including signing all documents, to effectuate said memorandum of understanding.
Second the motion?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Alderman Genitazio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the Health Director. Good evening, Deepa. My question is, can you just give us an example of when we have received resources from West Haven, or when we have helped them with any types of health department needs from Milford to West Haven? If you can just maybe give us a little background on this agreement.
Sure, no problem. This agreement has been, we last signed it back, or originally signed it back in 2014. So most commonly, the way that we activate this agreement is as I do not have an assistant director in place for coverage, which is required by state statute. The West Haven Health Director has, as well as the Stratford Health Director, have served as acting director if and when I go on vacation, and any times where I might not be available because of an emergency or anything like that. We have also called on mutual aid during Sandy and during Irene, when there were power outages, and particularly to bring food service establishments back online when there was a long-term power outage and we needed additional sanitarian assistance. So we've been able to call on mutual aid for that purpose as well.
Okay, thank you. So when you're not available or you're on vacation, then someone is there and they're on call?
Right, so the West Haven Health Director would be on call and available to my staff if there was any assistance needed, or for after hours emergencies, which that did happen on one occasion when I was on vacation, where there was an after hours emergency and the emergency management director had to call on the West Haven Health Director for some input on a situation. Where we are right now as well, just speaking to the pandemic, hopefully this doesn't happen, but if there was a situation where something were to happen to me, we would need to rely on this agreement.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, moving on to the agenda item 8C. Alderman Sutton. I'm sorry.
Point of order.
A roll call vote, Madam Secretary.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gaynor,
Yes.
Alderman Gentasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardiman,
Yes.
Alderman Harlow,
Yes.
Alderman Parente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
All in favor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Sutton, agenda item 8C.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the board approves the attached recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission dated October 21, 2020, pursuant to Connecticut General Statute Section 8-24 for the acquisition of a sidewalk easement on property located at 73-109 East Broadway, and to authorize the mayor, Public Works, and city attorney to take all steps necessary, including signing all documents, to effectuate said easement.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Madam Secretary, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gainer,
Yes.
Alderman Gennatasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardeman,
Yes.
Alderman Harlow,
Yes.
Alderman Parente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
All in favor.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next item on the agenda is 8D. Alderman Sutton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the board approve the attached recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission dated October 21, 2020, pursuant to Connecticut General Statute Section 8-24 for the acquisition of a sidewalk easement on property located at 49-71 East Broadway, and to authorize the mayor, Public Works, and city attorney to take all steps necessary, including signing all documents to effectuate said easement.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Madam Secretary, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gainer,
Yes.
Alderman Gennatasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardeman,
Yes.
Alderman Harlow,
Yes.
Alderman Parente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith, Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Sutton, Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
and Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
All in favor.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next item agenda is item number 8E. Alderman Sutton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the board approve the attached recommendation of the Planning Zoning Commission dated October 21, 2020, pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes Section 8-24 for the acquisition of a sidewalk easement on property located at 0 East Broadway, map 16, block 145, parcel 6A, and to authorize the mayor, Public Works, and city attorney to take all steps necessary, including signing all documents, to effectuate said easement.
Second.
Motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Madam Secretary, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gainer,
Yes.
Alderman Gennatasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardeman,
Yes.
Alderman Harlow,
Yes.
Alderman Parente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
All in favor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Motion passed unanimously. Alderman Sutton, agenda item 8F.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the board approves the attached allocation transfer number 2 regarding construction.
Second.
We have a motion and seconded. Is there any discussion? Alderman Giannatasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the Finance Director. Peter, can you tell me this money that's being transferred to 800,000 from account number 2812? Can you tell me what account that represents?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chairman, Alderman Giannatasio, that account represents the unreserved or unassigned fund balance in the sewer fund.
Just to follow up, Mr. Chairman, through you to Mayor Blake, is there any specific reason why this money is being used from the unreserved fund to fund construction and storm resiliency? I would think that it would come from a different type of fund, or if this would be money that would be, I don't know, already earmarked for this type of infrastructure?
Mr. Chairman, through you to Alderman Giannatasio, all the projects are wastewater related or sewer related that are being contemplated. For example, one of the projects is to clean the second digester. As you recall, we funded a project to clean one of the digesters because that unit, everybody is mobilized right now to clean the second one. We had to actually clean it and to find out what the process was. It's one of those things that you actually almost have to perform the surgery in order to determine what some of the issues are. But there are a series of projects that the sewer department, we have 225 miles of sewer. We have 2 treatment plants. One processes 11 million gallons of flow a day. One processes almost 14 million gallons of flow a day. Each sewage treatment plant is significant in terms of the energy that it uses. The city of Milford, the single greatest energy user is our sewage treatment plants. And one of the projects that we have, and actually I'll let Chris Saley, who's on the line, speak in a little bit more detail about some of the proposed projects, but one of them is for a fuel cell. So Chris, do you have some more background information?
Sure, Mayor Blake. Everyone can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so as Mayor Blake was talking about, this was a reserve account. Part of the money, we did a fuel cell down there, a 900 kW fuel cell down at the Beaverbrook plant. And part of the arrangement we made with the company, it's a 20-year commitment. We had $250,000 that was put into the reserve account as part of work that was going to be needed to be done on the digester. When we originally did the estimate, we didn't think we'd have enough work or enough money to do it, even with the $250,000. The first digester was cleaned, and we found out that we had a lot of savings. There wasn't as much sludge. They were more timely, and the company was mobilized already and initiated a discussion with us about cleaning the second digester, which we never thought we'd have enough. So that's the 250 of the 800,000 that's going into this account that we're asking for your approval to do. So it actually went in the account already. We're asking to take it out and put it into the construction part. That's for the second digester to be done. It's very prudent for the city to do this work. They're mobilized already. Like I was saying, these digesters do need to be cleaned. And that's the 250. The mayor was talking about the other areas here that we're looking at. And one of them is pavement restoration. So the board was very kind to give us a decent amount of money this past year on paving. One of the projects we undertook was the East Broadway restoration of the paving down there. And part of the restoration was required because of the force main that was installed from Walnut Beach all the way up to approximately where the old Alderio's is. And that force main, typically when a contractor does the work, they do a 5-foot trench. When it's all said and done, they cut a foot on each side, so it's a 7-foot restoration. What we found, believe it or not, the old force main that was put in was in close proximity and was in poor shape. So when they did this work, the trench depth or trench limits were going to increase substantially. Naugatuck Ave is a very busy road, and we thought it was prudent for us to reclaim most of that area along with Welton Street, Joy Road, and then East Broadway. The city took it upon themselves. We put it in the contract that we could do the work outside of the contractor's work that they normally the contractor would have done all this work. So there was a lot of savings because we did a lot more in-depth work on this part of the project. And all we're trying to do is take some of this money that we've already paved and put it back into the paving account because it was sewer related. And the other thing, storm resiliency, a smaller part of this is after the storm on August 2nd, we had an issue with a number of our generators at our pump stations did not work up to standards. So we're looking to have some money put aside in a prudent way, just so that we can get some generators now. And the mayor has authorized us to start looking at grant monies and other avenues to pay for this. But we thought it was in the city's best interest to get a few standby generators and to replace some of the generators that are in bad shape, because as everyone knows, when you get into these grant programs, they take a little longer than you expect. And we didn't want to put the city at risk for the generators.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, I understand the scope of work. I'm not questioning that. I'm just questioning the allocation of funds. To me, I know, serving on this board, that we have a sewer account, and I don't understand why the money wasn't taken from there, why it was taken from the unreserved account. But it seems to me, based on what I heard, is that we're paying ourselves back. Is that what I'm hearing? And also for the paving, I know that we've earmarked, several millions of dollars for paving. And again, we're taking out $800,000 from our unreserved account. And what I'm hearing is that we're paying ourselves back. Is that accurate?
Through you to Alderman Giantassio, just to be clear, it's not our fund reserve. It is the sewer reserve account. So the money that we are allocating this evening is from a specially designated sewer wastewater reserve account, for which the purpose is capital projects, infrastructure projects related to sewers or wastewater improvements.
Okay. Mayor Blake, that's why I asked the finance director account 2812, and it's not coded as sewer fund account. It just says, fund balance unreserved. So
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Alderman Giannatasio, I did state after I said unreserved fund balance, I did say sewer fund. Perhaps that was not heard.
okay.
The coding on the form, the code of 2812, if you look at the budget book, 2812 stands for the sewer fund.
Okay.
And the regular rainy day fund out of the general fund, that code is 1005. So the 2812 designates the sewer fund as we stated.
And the sewer fund is constantly collecting sewer fees, and it's rebuilding its balance?
Yes, that's correct. At the end of each fiscal year, it's rebuilding its balance, yes.
Okay, I just needed that clarification, Peter, and I appreciate that because to me, at first glance, it looked like we're using, our unreserved, balance from our general fund. So I wasn't really clear on that. So I'm in favor of this as long as it's coming out of the sewer fund unreserved. Thank you.
Alderman Wynn Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, So this 800,000 is being transferred to be used for storm resiliency and emergency repair work and paving wastewater. And I'm just reading that verbatim from the 8F attachment. So that 800,000 can only be used for what I just read verbatim. That storm resiliency and emergency repair work and paving wastewater. Is that right?
Mr. Chairman, through you, it has to be used for sewer wastewater related projects, yes. So some of it we may not use. We're authorizing that money, and the amount that we may not use is the storm resiliency, because what we are going to try to do is have our generators that went down from Storm Isaias, have those paid for through either insurance, we're making an insurance claim, or through a grant. We're making a application for a grant, based on the fact that these happened during the actual storm, or trying to get a hazard mitigation grant. Many of those do cover generators for wastewater treatment facilities. And if we do not receive those funds, at that point, we are going to replace these generators that went down through this sewer reserve money, yes. But the other things are projects related to the sewage system, like the project to restore the roads after the Viscount Drive sewer main project, or the project that has to do with the fuel cell at the wastewater treatment plant and the cleaning out of the digester system. So those are all the projects that we have contemplated for this money. The only thing that may or may not happen is the resiliency projects, purchasing those generators with this money, because that money may come from a grant or from insurance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as a follow-up, through you, Mr. Chairman, so say 500,000 is used from that $800,000 transfer. If there's a $300,000 balance left that is unused, that can't be used for something unrelated to wastewater, like just some other, any other construction project unrelated to the purposes listed here. It can't be used for that, right? It has to be used for the specified purposes here.
Correct. It has to have some nexus with wastewater. It would have to be a project that's associated with wastewater.
Okay. And through you, Mr. Chairman, how much is left in the account after the $800,000 is transferred out of that unreserved fund?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to Alderman Smith, approximately close to $5 million would be left in the account after this transfer.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gaynor,
Yes.
Alderman Gennatasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardiman,
Yes.
Alderman Harla,
Yes.
Alderman Parente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
All in favor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda item number 9. There is no new business. Moving on to agenda item number 10, Memo Transfers. Alderman Sutton, agenda item number 10A.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of budget memo transfers number 1 and number 2, Fund 1005 for fiscal year 2021.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gainer,
Yes.
Alderman Gennatasio,
yes,
Alderman Hardiman,
Yes.
Alderman Harla,
Yes.
Alderman Prente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli, I'm sorry, Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
All in favor?
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Sutton, agenda item number 11A.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approves the refunds in the amount of $70,389.50.
second,
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gainer,
Yes.
Alderman Gennatasio,
yes,
Alderman Hardiman,
Yes.
Alderman Harla,
Yes.
Alderman Parente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
All in favor?
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Motion passes unanimously. Alderman Sutton, agenda item 11B.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the board approves the suspense list in the amount of $392,377 or $377.71.
A point of information, I think it's 33.
37. Oops.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay.
Move for the consideration of the suspense list in the amount of $392,337.71.
I
second,
second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Madam Secretary. Alderman Wynn Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, these uncollectible taxes, what has been done to try and collect on these taxes, and why are they uncollectible?
Mr. Chairman, through you to Alderman Smith, I'll give you a broad perspective, and then I'll let Peter Aradisi fill in some of the details in terms of the process. But in most of these situations, these are people who have moved and we cannot verify their new address. The tax office has spent several years attempting to locate them. They utilize DMV for their search. We have an affiliation with DMV to get new addresses. We also send these out to, if they're not motor vehicle taxes, if they're personal property taxes, or if they're real estate taxes, we do send these out to local constables or marshals and try to secure back taxes, or sometimes we sell the liens, obviously not these. Just because they appear on the suspense list does not mean that they are uncollectible. It just means that the office has stopped looking for them. However, we sometimes still receive back taxes even after they get placed on the suspense list. One of the things that the suspense list is designed for is to put it in front of, the members of this board, your eyes, and if you know of any people that have delinquencies and you know how to locate them, feel free to get in touch with them or in touch with our tax office to provide better information so that we are able to meet up and provide them information that there is an outstanding balance. But I'll let Peter give some additional background as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Through you, Mr. Chairman, to Alderman Smith. That is correct. I'll also add that our tax office also uses a LexisNexis service to search for the whereabouts of these taxpayers. We also work with a tax collection company that we recently contracted with, and efforts with them have been successful. But the mayor is correct. Even though they are placed on this suspense list, we still pursue collection, and also through the process, as mentioned before, of the sale of delinquent tax liens, we're also able to collect on this money. So again, even if it's on the list, we continue to collect on it we can collect on it going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And through you, Mr. Chairman, if you can collect on it, then why even do the suspense list?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I believe it's required by state statute.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chairman, the reason I ask is because I do see a couple names on here that I believe through minimal effort, you would be able to find that person. And because of that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to vote for suspending the taxes, because I think with minimal effort, you'd be able to find a couple of these people. So I don't think I'd be able to vote for that.
Chairman, through you to Alderman Smith, again, it doesn't suspend the taxes. As long as the taxes are collected within 15 years, that particular taxpayer remains responsible, and those taxes remain collectible. If you know of people and you have an address, please alert our tax office or our finance department to that information, and we're happy to follow up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Peter, for your information. Is there any more discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Beatty,
Yes.
Alderman Gaynor,
Yes.
Alderman Gennatasio,
Yes.
Alderman Hardiman,
Yes.
Alderman Harla,
Yes.
Alderman Prente,
Yes.
Alderman Frank Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Winthrop Smith,
No.
Alderman Sutton,
Yes.
Alderman Tranquilli,
Yes.
Alderman Vitro,
Yes.
Alderman Vitale,
Yes.
Alderman Willis,
Yes.
Alderman Marlowe.
Yes.
13 in favor, 1 against.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Moving on to the next agenda item, number 12. Are there any reports of any standing committees? Alderman Giannattasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just would like to make an announcement for a point of information. Our newly appointed Alderman Scott Marlowe, will be serving on the Public Safety and Welfare Committee as Vice Chairman in place of former Alderman Jeremy Grant moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Giannattasio. Is there any other reports of standing committees? Alderman Giannattasio.
No, Mr. Chairman, not on standing committees, but on the special committees, there is.
Let's wait till the next agenda item. Any more reports of any standing committees? Seeing none, we'll close under agenda item number 12, open under agenda item number 13. Are there any reports of any of the special committees? Alderman Giannattasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, I do acknowledge Scott Marlowe will be the liaison to the library board forward in place of former Alderman Jeremy Grant. Scott Marlowe will also be the liaison to the subcommittee for Inland Wetlands Agency moving forward. And he will also be the liaison to the Milford Government Access television, MGAT, moving forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Alderman Giannatasio. That's the end of the evening agenda items. Agenda item number 14, motion to adjourn. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe.